Large penises. Hello, everybody. How are we doing?
Tell me when we go live.
We're gonna be going live in a minute here.
Okay. So I should get all of my controversial takes out of the way now.
Yeah. The Batman mid. Hello, everybody. How are we doing? How's everyone's Friday?
Breath of the Wild, overrated.
Wow.
Clunky.
Crazy.
Hey, everybody.
How are we?
How are we doing?
How
No, I
are we?
said it.
I already asked it twice.
Well, I did it again.
Scott,
We're in a good mood today.
today's
Dry
been a
sprink
pretty...
my water.
First of all, you drank my water. So what happened? Okay, so when Scott and I go rock climbing, we go rock climbing every Friday, and we have this tradition that we both just forget our waters, and then we are thirsty while rock climbing, and then we go, let's buy something from the vending machine, and then the vending machine never works. And I really couldn't explain to you why the vending machine doesn't work. It's either like the most complex vending machine ever. It's like a fucking escape room vending machine, or it just doesn't work. But what we do, right? One of us rips off the label in their water, and the other doesn't, so that we don't drink each other's water. Well, today, normally Scott rips his label off, but today he just couldn't do it. He forgot how to rip a label off a water bottle. So I had to rip the label off of mine. Also, Scott, ever since you zoomed in, your camera's just not working anymore, so you should undo that.
What do you mean?
Like, it's really bad. It's about 1 frame a second right now.
What about now?
No, you fucked it all up. I told you not to do that during the stream. I told you this would happen. I didn't even get to finish my story. I'll get to my story in a second. I told you, I said, don't fuck with you. There you go, it's fine now. I said, don't fuck with your camera during stream because it'll fucking ruin it. God damn it, you make me mad. Anyway,
You making me so mad.
we do this so we don't drink each other's water, and he drank my water today because he thought it was his. That's the whole story. That's how exciting we are.
Can see why this would be a dilemma.
It's really
I have
not that
Bryce's
big of a deal.
germs inside of my body.
That is true. Although we do drink after each other sometimes. I mean, it's not like the first time we've done that before.
Oh, do we drink after each other?
You've handed me stuff and said take a sip out off it before. We've dipped our stuff and we double dip all the time. I don't know. I just feel like we kind of have each other's germs already.
A little uncomfortable right now.
You're a little uncomfortable.
I'm a little
It's like when you wouldn't share a fry box with me in Cincinnati.
That was funny.
That's funny.
That's funny.
But yeah, how are we all doing? Today's a good day. It's Friday. It's Tears of the Kingdom Day, so that's what I'm doing after work.
Overrated.
Um,
I've already beaten the game.
and that's about that's. I mean, that's
You
that's
win
the
at
whole
the
day.
end. I'm
whole-
spoiling it.
Jesus Christ. I don't know. You have anything interesting to talk about today, Scott?
Anything interesting to talk about?
Yeah, anything
I hurt
insightful?
I hurt my back rock climbing.
That is true.
I leapt off of the top of a wall. But other than that, no. No. Well, let's hand it over to chat. Hey, chat.
Matt says I'm having a frozen pretzel right now.
Frozen pretzel?
Yeah.
What?
Like a frozen soft pretzel.
Why would you eat a frozen pretzel?
That's, I think, how most people eat soft pretzels at home. You just put them in the microwave and heat them up
Could you freeze them?
because they're frozen.
Oh, you mean it like comes frozen and then like you heat it
Yeah.
up and eat it?
What the fuck is
Oh.
wrong with you?
I thought you meant like
Like he
Like
was just
it-
eating like frost and all. He was just
yeah.
he was
I
just
thought
munching on the pretzel.
I
What
was like,
is
God,
wrong
that's.
with you?
I was like, that's weird. Why would you do that? Heat it up.
That's peculiar. Scrub said you should have rolled. I will say, actually, in Scott's defense, the one he was climbing is kind of fucked up because it's right on the edge of the mat. If he would have rolled, he would have fallen on concrete. Like he actually would have really hurt himself. I've fallen off of that same hold once, and literally so what it is, it's like the wall is like this way, like it's like this, and then the mat's right here, and it's not that big of a mat, but on the wall are like triangles. Like there's like a bunch of triangles. So you have to, if you're gonna fall, you have to push off of it. You kind of have to like leap a little bit, and if you do, you can't land on your back, or you'll land half on the mat, like half on concrete. And so you have to just take it on your feet. I've done it once, and it really hurt. You're not supposed to jump off it, for the record. You're supposed to climb back down, but that's not always an option.
Problem with that one is that the walls are super, or like all the holds are just covered in chalk, so they're super slick.
Yeah, even if you scrape them off, they're all covered in chalk.
So it's actually really hard to get like a clean just climb down. Just because we needed to complain a little bit. That was our complaining. Bryce, what else do you have to complain about?
What else do I have to complain about? The fact that I'm alive. I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know. I don't have much to complain about now that now that I'm past the era of having to build the Panty Bear store. My life is pretty easy again. The closest I ever came to quitting my career was working on this Panty Bear store, but I did it, and now everyone has their books, and I'm very happy.
Panty Bear store, Bryce. What Panty Bear store?
Bryce and Scott dot store. Go there. I hope I typed that right, and I hope that doesn't send you to the wrong store.
Dot store.
I know I say this all the time, but you guys mean so much to me. I love chilling and watching these streams. Thank you.
We're just vibing, dude. Having a good time.
Hi, hope everyone is doing well. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you too. This has been a bit of a lazy Friday for me so far. I've not done much.
I woke up at 9:20.
That is true. Oh, you told me 9:21 earlier. Now you're lying to me. You're lying to everyone. You have a problem?
Can you believe that?
Can you believe that?
Do you have any Fireball in your office? Or
No, but I do have an empty bottle in the bathroom.
okay, good.
But in fairness, it's been empty since last weekend.
So why haven't you? I walked into his office and there was just a row of like 4 empty cups, like coffee cups,
There's 7
and
now.
they were neatly lined up. Why? Fucking take them downstairs.
Well, until Amy yells at me to take them downstairs, I just forget to do it.
I'm yelling at you.
I mean, you don't live with me.
Put them on camera.
No, they're all like they're not. I okay, this is actually kind of stupid now. Okay, I have 3 of them lined up on my game shelf like they're collectibles. I just realized
that's how they were when I walked over there. Like I seen the edge of his desk, and it was like his desk was right here, and on it was just like very neatly, just like a bunch of cups, just lined up perfectly.
Well, I
like
keep
this.
my office neat. I'm not like a degenerate.
Well, you don't keep it fucking clean.
It's clean. It just has some coffee mugs in it.
I use the same mug every day, several times a day.
Yeah. No, I mean, here I am. We out here. I used to be, I'm like that with everything else, but I don't know why. With coffee, I'm not like that.
Have you seen how old people drink coffee, or like they use their mugs and they'll use the same mug, but they don't wash it?
I have seen that, yes.
And it's like they have this mug that they've been using since like 1942, and they've just not washed it, so the inside is all caked up with dried coffee and everything. It's really gross.
I don't do that, for the record.
Yeah, you get new mugs every time, and then you just leave them in your
No,
office.
I clean them. I clean them like every few days. I take them down and I clean them all. By that I mean I put them in the dishwasher, or I ask Amy to clean them. Wow. Listen, I have a hard life. Okay, I gotta write books all day. Sometimes I gotta deal with the store. It's tough out here.
You might have to do that again. Who knows?
You should invite. Oh, give me a minute. Ugh. Okay, you should invite random YouTubers that have nothing to do with your stream if you have days where you have nothing to talk about. We've had plenty of guests before in the past. Most of them are art related, but we've had a few that aren't art related. I don't know why we haven't done that since we've come back. Probably just laziness.
One plan, and then it didn't happen, and then we were just like, well, that's the end of guests. That's the end of that.
We had a time where we were trying to book a guest every single week.
Not trying, we were doing.
Yeah, but I meant like a while where we were trying to get a new guest. Specifically every week. Like not like repeat guests. And then eventually we did have a guest on us every week. Most of the time it was like Fly and Echo and like our friends and stuff. There was a while where we were that was like the arc where we had like all kinds of people on. And then we had Thick with the Q on, and I guess we were like, that's good.
That was it.
We've done
Can't
enough.
top that. Well, it was a really good stream, to be fair.
It was. You could get Blue with a bone on. That'd be cool.
We almost had her on stream once.
We had like literally like it was going to happen, but one day probably. She's really nice from whatever. I've not talked to her. But I know, Scott, you said she's really nice.
Yeah.
Basically, we're always making moves.
Actually, next week, Barack Obama is going to be on stream on Monday.
What work made you feel like this is something you could do? In other words, what work made you explode in popularity?
The first popular post that I had, I did fan art of who's that one bitch? The one from the Trigger anime.
Oh God, 02?
No. No, 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 no. The animal.
Michiru? Is that her name?
Yeah, whoever that. I don't know. I've not watched the show,
Neither
but
have
I did fan art, and that did really well. That got like 10,000 likes, and that was the first time I had ever had a piece get 10,000 likes or anything close to it. And I was like, whoa, that's awesome. I want to do that again. And then I went a long time without doing that again. And then I started drawing Lucia a bunch. And people like her. And I just slowly started to hone in on a format that worked. And, you know, those started doing well. And they would keep doing better the more I would change the format. So that sort of was that post was the first time I was like, wow, that's like really so. And then the first time I had like a big post sheet of hers do really well, and I gained like 5,000 followers. I went from like 5,000 followers to like 15,000 followers from one post, and my our Patreon did really, really well off of just that one post. And I was like, wow, okay, this could be like a legitimate thing, because at the time I was still doing comic work. Like doing commissions and stuff. And that was sort of the start of like, okay, maybe I can figure out a way to turn this into something sustainable, at least for a while.
I don't remember the numbers fully, but I remember because it was the sweatshirt post sheet, right, with the yellow background. I think was the first one that popped up. The one where she's like,
no, it was her in like gray underwear.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. And then it like I remember that one popped off. Like you said, you were at like 5,000, and our Patreon we were making like $60 a month, and it was at the start of December, like December 21 or December 2020. I don't remember. But it was like the start of that December. I think it was 2020. Yeah, it was.
That's 2020.
It was the very start, and I remember our Patreon was making like $60, and then like legitimately within like a week it went up to like $600 a month, and then he went up to like 15,000 followers, and then like by January we were at like $2,000 a month, and then it just kept going from there. It was a wild time.
And now we're here on Twitch.
I would really say the moment for me though that it became real, because with everything that happened during that period, like Scott experienced a lot of really quick growth, and our Patreon experienced a lot of quick growth, but we were very hesitant to believe in it like being successful. Like we both kind of had this feeling that it was like just kind of like a flash in the pan, and that like we were both definitely like felt like it was going to level out and we were going to go back down at some point. And then the first strip game he did, which was in June of June of 21, I think. The increase that we got off of that from Patreon and from his Twitter followers was so fucking crazy. I remember that literally being like the day we talked about it after that week, about how like okay, this is an actual thing we can turn into like a business and run and make a living off of. It was a very that whole year was a lot of changing. It's very weird going from being broke and having no one caring about you to suddenly not being and having people care about what you do within the span of like 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, and then we had we added the new tier, like, because at first there wasn't a $10 tier for the animations, and then we added that, and that helped blow it up even more. So that was a really quick like sort of explosion. Most of it happened last year, really. But yeah, over the last few years, everything just went up real quick. That's how it usually happens. And now we out here, we selling books, we streaming, we BrysonScott.store, doing other merch, plushies, other shit. Oh, hey, Vel.
Oh yeah, what's up, Vel? I see Bryce and Scott are back to lo-fi. That is true. We're gonna start putting our actual our VODs on YouTube here soon. That way, I don't know, they're just somewhere else, and so we have to stop playing copyrighted music. So we just back to the lo-fi. We also a while back had a really cool idea for a YouTube-esque video series that we could do that I think would be really cool to do one day. I don't know if you remember that, Scott. It's been a while since we've talked about it. It was before we wanted to go back to streaming. Do you remember that?
Yeah, it was gonna be like our streaming substitute.
Yeah, but I still think that's something that could exist on its own, like even with us being back to streaming.
Yeah, I do too.
The problem is
It's a good idea. It's just a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, and it's a lot of things we have to learn how to do to bring it together. Like, it would be very different than anything we've. So we have to hit like a lull in writing and drawing, and be able to set some time. And we're about to actually have quite a bit more work coming up here soon. If Secret Project starts when we've been told it'll probably start. I totally forgot about that till right now.
True.
Not gonna lie, the thumbnail kind of threw me off. Thought y'all forgot what audience you had. Hey Scott.
What thumbnail?
I don't know. Scrub says, "Hey Scott, could you give me a quick critique on a piece I finished? I've been trying to work on cell shading and doing stuff that is trigger styled. So if you're fine, can I send it your way?"
Sure. I'll take a look at it after I finish this post, or as soon as I finish inking this post.
Do you guys still have the streams from 2022, or are those lost media? I have a large chunk of the streams from last year. I have all the season 2 streams when we came back. I have like a decent bit of. We didn't really think to archive streams until it was a little too late, and so some of them are a good bit of them are lost to time. But some of the best.
R.I.P.
ones,
the chip stream.
Some of the best ones are saved, and like the thick with the Q one, I know we I still have and everything. The problem is they take up a lot of space. But yeah, I don't know. I want to do more stuff like streaming and like more video type stuff, like content that's like this, because I don't know, it's really different, it's really fun, and I like doing it. And I feel like we get better at it and we get more comfortable with it the more we do. And that one idea that we had for the YouTube video, I think the big charm with it, we can't talk about what it is specifically, I guess, but like it's one of the few ideas that I think what really works with videos and stuff like that, and what really excites you and me, is when they're ideas that it feels like you and I can either bring something new to the table or do something that only you and I like have the insight or are able to like sort of pull together in that specific way. And I think that's what's really exciting about that idea, is that it feels like it's an idea that could be really interesting and informative and stuff, but also something that only really we could probably do with the specific thing we were talking about.
Yeah, I really want to do just something with YouTube, even if it's like silly. But I don't know. Because I mean, we've always wanted to do YouTube stuff. Even before we did art or comics, we were making YouTube videos. I really would like to find a way to do it. It's just like editing and finding the time for it and everything like that. It's just a logistical issue, really.
Yeah, it's one of those things that we just have to, if we're ever going to do it, just sit down and commit to it. That's the biggest problem, is finding the chance to commit to it.
Saying is, apply to be our editor.
If we ever did some videos and they proved profitable, we could probably afford to hire an editor.
We'll just go on Fiverr and get somebody that can barely understand us for $6.
Do you still like traditional media when you draw?
I have a sketchbook right here. I draw in it almost every day. I try and draw in it more often. I had a while where I would, I kind of stopped drawing in it, but I'm trying to get back into doing it every day.
For the record, I
Days
also write traditionally.
Days like today, where I was like doing stuff all morning, I didn't really draw in it, but I try to on most days. It's like my warm-ups. It's how I get going during the day.
Yeah, I write a lot of my first drafts by hand. For shorter stuff. For longer stuff, I don't, because that's too much work. But for shorter stuff, I write a lot of stuff by hand. I feel my writing, like my first drafts, are a lot better when I write them by hand. But like I said, it's hard for me to. Sometimes I have a little bit of trouble staying focused when I write by hand. Would you say it's better to start writing traditionally or to type your stuff out? I think it's all personal preference. I think it's to do whatever you're most comfortable with. The reason I actually started... So I hit this period when I was like 20 or 21 where I got really, really bad like writer's block. Which, you know, every time I say, people was like, oh, writer's block isn't real, blah, blah. And like, it's not, but there is like the mental struggles that come with it are very real. I really hate when people say the whole writer's block thing isn't real, because I think it just chooses to ignore the actual problem. But I had this really big struggle where I was struggling a lot with writing mentally. And I read, there was this Joe Hill interview. Joe Hill is Stephen King's son, where he was talking about after his book Horns, he was struggling to write his next book. He just like couldn't get a first draft that he liked, like no matter what he did. And Neil Gaiman, however you want to say it, gave him the advice of writing his first draft by hand, just to do something different. Like, just take yourself away from your screen, away from how you're used to writing, and just try writing by hand and see if it sort of takes those mental worries and mental struggles away from you, now that you're not doing what you associate with like work writing, now that you're not sitting at the computer and blah blah. And Joe Hill said it worked for him a lot. Now he writes all of his first drafts by hand. And so I just started doing it. That's why. So I do it. Sometimes I don't do it, I would say. And I only do it for prose. I never do it for comics. I write all digitally. But when I do prose, especially if I'm struggling with something, if I'm working on a longer project and I'm struggling, sometimes I'll just sit down and I'll just rewrite a chapter in my notebook, just because I feel like, at least for me, my writing feels a bit less perfect or a bit more like my voice when I write it by hand. Than when I type it. Sometimes when I type, I feel like that part of me that wants to create something perfect or wants to make something like final comes out, even when I'm just trying to do a first draft. Whereas when I'm writing by hand, that doesn't happen as much. So I would just say whatever you feel most comfortable with, whichever feels most natural to you. I would try both, and I would never feel like you only have to do one. Like, I would never feel like you're trapped into like, oh, I write my rough drafts digitally, so that's how I do it. Like, you know.
I just do it because it's fun. Pencil go burr.
The unfortunate problem is if you're a lefty like me, as you write, you get ink all over yourself, like a caveman.
I have a bunch of tools over here too. I have a blue pencil, a normal pencil, a lead pencil, or a mechanical pencil. I have a Sakura pen. I have a kneaded eraser. I have a cup just filled with more pins and shit. I'm loaded. I got these Chinese stress balls right here for some reason. I got all kinds of stuff. I'm set up, baby.
I have a pink notebook and a fast drawing pen. There we go. Just do that. My writing is also supremely sloppy. Anyone that's gotten my signatures so far will know that. I'm just gonna open to a random page from like one of my books. Like, this is what the writing in my books looks like. It's just a chaotic mess. So One thing I wish I had done. Now I buy all the same kind of notebooks. So like I have that pink book, and then I have this. I like these. Like these are all the same brand. They're all the same size. They look good. I can sit them all together. I didn't used to do that. I used to just, because I was poor, I would just like go to the dollar store and just buy like the cheapest thing I could. So I just buy like spiral notebooks, composition notebooks, and so for the longest time, I had just like a stack of like 20 of them, and I actually either got rid of or lost a lot of them in my two moves. Some of them are probably still at my parents' house. So right now, I only have a lot of my newer stuff here that I'm writing, which is a little unfortunate, but. Is that a Dragon Ball themed mug, Scrub asked?
Oh, this one that I showed? No, it's just like it's just something Amy had. I don't actually know what the theme of it is. I think it's like from a book thing that she reads. I don't think it actually is from like an IP that I know. Also, this is Scrub's thing that he sent me. It looks cool. I know you said you wanted critique like on the shading, but I don't know if I have specific critique on the shading. One thing I would maybe advise is to be a little careful. I used to do this a lot as well, but recently I've tried to stop doing these like multi-layered like Gogol King is an artist that does it really like a lot, where it'll be like you have like a shadow color here. Turn my lazy to zoom me off. You have like a shadow color here, and then you have like a darker shadow, and then you have an even darker shadow, and then you have an even darker shadow. I might try and avoid that a little bit. I used to do it a lot. Like I would have like, here's like the skin, and the skin would have like a highlight on it, and then it would get like, you know, a little darker, and then it would get like a little darker, and then it would get like a little darker, and then it would get like a little darker. Like you can do it. It's just, I think, a lot harder to do. It makes it look too like clean. I think instead what you should focus on with that is using it a lot more sparingly. So like if instead of this, like you got rid of the like that section there, like, and it's just this one instead of this like mid section or like mid-tone here, I think that might look a little more smooth. And same thing like up here, like maybe if you had gotten rid of like maybe this one and instead you put it like right here where the boob is hanging down, that would be one thing I would say, is maybe try and or even like a good example you could have done is like right here where it's like the actual form is changing, right? Like her back, if you were to draw a mesh grid on it, her back would be doing like this, not quite this exaggerated, but it would be doing like this sort of thing right here where it's curving like that, the muscle. So there's this occlusion shadow that would happen right here because there's going to be a gap in between this. Like this band is not, or a strap from the bra isn't going to go like follow this curve. So you're going to get this really dark occlusion shadow like right here. So I would have maybe added one like right there. I guess to simplify what I'm saying, doing it in the middle of forms like this one, and like this one down here and right here, I think sometimes that looks a little weird. You also could do some line coloring. That was something that I asked Fizz about, and he gave me a lot of tips on how to do line coloring. And so I would maybe recommend that. So like I'll give you an example. Okay, like this. Like if instead of this isn't going to be perfect, but like if instead of just a black line right here, you did something like this. I'll put this on a different. All right, this is already on a different layer. Oops. Like you did something like this to soften it up a little bit, especially for skin. I find it's really important for skin, because black on skin looks really like it tends to stand out in somewhat of a jarring way. So this is just a way to like soften it up. And so like for areas where like the hand is overhanging the leg, so like there's a lot of space in between the hand and the leg, I wouldn't color this line usually, because I want that to stand out a little bit. But like, you know, you could do it like on the mouth, you could do it in here in the ear, and you can see that sort of takes the harsh line here on the booty and just softens it up just a little bit. And you also could do like, see, this is down here in shadow, so the line makes sense to be even darker. You also up here where it's light, you could do like that, and make it even softer, even more subtle. I think stuff like that looks really nice. A lot of people probably notice me doing that on pieces when I get to coloring. Go here and like something like that. Just sort of go in and paint the lines a little bit and just soften up certain areas, if that makes sense. So you see it goes from like everything's black and kind of like the lines really stand out to maybe they look a little more natural if you can do that. But it's a good piece. That would be my critique.
Just do that.
Just do that.
I lost sense of reality there for like 2 minutes, so I spaced out.
What's it like to be stupid?
It's pretty easy, to be honest. Scott, do you have any good advice for drawing different outfits for the same character, since you seem to do that a lot?
Different outfits for the same character.
Ask other people.
Ask other people. I think having just a general sense of your character and like, you know, I mean, I'll be honest, like one of the things with Lucia that works so well in her Twitter iteration is that her personality is really flexible. Like it's not like if I had stuck strictly to her personality in the Panty Bear, I would have been a lot more limited in like the outfits that I could have put her in, because, you know, there's just a lot, like her personality in the book is a lot more fleshed out and a lot more harsh, I guess is the word, brash. So certain outfits for that character wouldn't have really worked. So when I started doing her in a lot of pinup work, I decided to make her a little more open, a little more fun or playful, where I could do like any number of outfits. And if you do that, really, then it becomes just a matter of like finding cool outfits. You know, if you find like cool shit, I use Pinterest a lot. Sometimes I'll mix it up. I'll change her hair. Like in this one, it's because it's the Leia outfit. She has like the ponytail, like the braided ponytail. Just have fun with it, you know. I mean, you can do anything. You can do any character in anything. Like if you wanted to draw an existing character, you wanted to draw Android 18 in a construction worker outfit, you could do that. No one's gonna stop you, and for the most part, people will be fine with it. Although I'll say that I did when I did my Power fan art, people weren't happy because I guess I wasn't faithful enough to the manga. And they were like, you're basing this off the anime. That's not canon. And I'm like, I've not seen the anime or read the manga, either one. So sometimes people can get a little mad if you break character a little bit, but that's fine. People are always mad.
You know what we say? People on the internet are always mean. So you just have to ignore it.
Except for you guys. Bonnie? You?
What? Me? Who? That lunch we had was
You.
real good.
Yeah.
We had this sandwich that it was bread, the first component of a sandwich. It was a bun, and then it was like pulled pork with some kind of cheese. I don't even know what kind of cheese. And then
Dad cheese.
huh?
I said dad's
Yeah,
cheese.
dad's cheese. And then it had grippos on it, which are barbecue chips, and then you dipped it in a cheese sauce, and then we had chili with it. That was a pretty good lunch, I can't lie. We get it every Friday, so it's not like a new thing. But every Friday it's a pretty good lunch. It's kind of hard to beat it. It's the dude that like runs the place. He the first time we bought it, he told us, he was like, now don't dip your sandwich in the cheese, because then the pulled pork like gets all in it. He was like, pour it onto your cheese, or pour it onto your sandwich. And Scott didn't do that today. Scott broke the rules today.
Always do it that way.
Android 18 doing whatever she wants is the Echo Saber strategy. I love it. That's so funny because the construction worker thing.
Yeah, there was. I think it was Ingo wanted him to draw 18 in a construction worker outfit, and Echo just won't do it.
Yeah, Echo. Yeah, that led to a whole argument on stream where Echo was basically like, you have to draw characters in what is canon for them to wear, and so it's kind of become like a meme. The construction worker Android 18. Because of that. One day I'm convinced Ingo will get him to draw it. Ingo brings it up every time I feel like he interacts with Echo. That's just a really funny coincidence. Also, do y'all straight up live close to each other now? Like next door neighbors? I mean, I'm about 2 minutes from his apartment. So yeah. Pretty close.
On my bike, I'm about 30 seconds from him.
Yeah. Yeah, we live in the same apartment complex. So at 5 a.m., I walk over and I bug him and I go, it's time for work, little baby man, get up.
Although you've not really been over at 5 very much lately.
We've also not been plotting very much lately.
True, we're lazy.
We've been doing other things. You know, we went to that Vanilla Ice concert, so.
I'm actually listening to the Ice Ice Baby right now.
I really like that Lucia is flexible with her personality, because that's how animators approached characters in the golden age of animation. They didn't have characters from the start. Yeah, drawer just like that.
Something really funny about these eyes. I don't know that I'll leave that, but I might.
I don't know that I'll leave that, he says as he immediately erases it.
Well, turns out I won't.
But yeah, we live very close to each other, which has led us to just doing all kinds of... We hit each other with a foam roller the other night, and I think upset some people in the neighborhood. That was kind of stupid.
It was loud.
Yeah, it was very loud. There was a dog that barked. We were also going out and hitting baseballs together for a while, but then, like, the park's actually open.
We could go do that sometime. We just have to go earlier in the day.
Yeah, before those damn children show up.
Those damn kids.
There's something just fun about just cranking baseballs.
Except for that time you got really frustrated and wanted to quit.
Except for that one time where like I swung and missed like 20 times in a row, and then I gave up for the day and fucking was like, take me home, as like a 9-year-old kid watched us. Yeah, there was one time we went and we had to play in a smaller field because there wasn't a lot of people, or there weren't like any like the big fields were closed, so we had to play in the little league fields. And we were in the biggest field, which is only like 200 feet, so it's real small still. And we had to leave for just a random crazy reason. We had to scurry to the next field. um, and we were playing there, and this like 9-year-old kid shows up, and Scott's like, "Oh, you want to like take a few swings?" And the kid's like, "Nah, I got practice in like an hour." And we're like, "Oh, that's cool. We're gonna be out of here soon." And I just like proceeded to just like swing and miss like 20 times in a row. And then I just like gave up. I was like, "We're going home. I'm done." And the kid just sat there, just watched the whole time.
I kind of fuck with these eyes, so I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna leave it blank for now, and then I'll go back to it. That kid was cool. He was in shock watching you.
Yeah, I was in shock that day too.
I thought he was gonna like come up and start giving you tips.
Well, I had only like to explain a little more. I'd like never swung. Like I love baseball, but I'd never actually played or anything in my life. And so Scott was teaching me how to do it, and like I had kind of gotten the hang of it. And then I just like entered this slump. But the next time we went out and did it, I was better and I was fine. And I was able to actually hit baseballs again. We also went to a different field that time because we tried to go to the first field and we got the impression that we weren't welcome. We got the impression that that we weren't meant to be there.
Strange parts.
So we drove out to a different ballpark, and that one was actually a lot. I liked that one a lot more.
That was nice.
Except for the fact that like there were cars driving by, and so if you would have, Scott did crank like 3 home runs that would have hit a car if it didn't hit a tree.
True. You know what I do, man? I get in there, I just crush them.
It just felt like one of those. Scott did almost fucking kill me because like, you know, when you're just standing at a pitching machine and pitching to somebody, you're supposed to have a net up in front of you so that they hit the ball straight back at you. There's a net. Well, we're stupid, and so we don't do that. And he did whiz one straight at me. That I had
there was a point where I was trying to hit it like back up the middle at him, and I.
But one of
got
them,
him.
he didn't like. It wasn't like. I mean, he whizzed it at my face. Like I had to fucking jump out of the way.
Fine.
Because see, what people don't know about Scott is that you're actually good at baseball. Like you actually played baseball all growing up. And so like if you just pitch to you with a pitching machine, you can just crank home runs like it's nothing.
That was actually there was about 1 week where I really thought I was going to be like a Major League Baseball player when I was 15. I was like, I'm going to take this really serious. Yeah, I was like, this is my time. This is my calling. And then I was like, I went out and I played and I was like, oh, I'm not as good as like a lot of these kids on the team. And I know they're not going to go pro, so that means I probably won't be able to go pro.
That was a hard day. You sat down with your coach and you were like, Coach, I'm retiring. Throwing in the towel. It's been a long career for me, but I got to walk away from the game. I got to pursue other things.
And then I just started drawing titties. This was my backup plan.
To be fair, you were also drawing titties at that time. Probably. But that's probably just because you were 15.
Yeah, but I didn't draw as many.
It's been a long 8 months, Coach. Have you ever told your walk story on stream?
I don't know. I mean, at one time I was in like this. It was like this summer league for baseball. I was probably like 14 or 15 at the time, and I went up there, and the first pitch, the coach told me to try and bunt, and it was like he had like a play on. He was like, if this guy on first doesn't steal, or no, that was a different story. I'm remembering. I don't know, one time I drew a walk-off walk, but nobody realized what had happened because it was a little league game, so it was like nobody, like the scoreboard didn't work and nobody really realized it, and I was just kind of like started walking to first base, and everybody like kind of came out like, did we win? And then the umpire's like, oh yeah, game over. And I was like, woo!
Also, tell the story about your what is it, 2 games as a pitcher? That's a good one.
Yeah, well, so, you know, when you're like a teenager, you grow really quickly. So if you are just like a 14-year-old boy compared to a 13-year-old boy, there's quite a big difference. And because of where my birthdays lined up in March, I was like the oldest kid on the team. I was basically a year older than everybody else because my birthday was right before the cutoff date to be up in the next year's league. So I was like the oldest kid in the league by like, almost a year. So the first day, this coach didn't know who I was, and I hadn't, because I played Little League as a kid when I was like, probably like 10 and under, and then I stopped, and I didn't play again until I was about 14. So I hadn't really played in 4 or 5 years, and I go up there, and the coach sees me, and I'm the biggest kid on the team. I got broad shoulders, I was in better shape at the time. And he was like, okay, you're going to be our starting pitcher. You're going to pitch on opening day. He just sees me as the big kid. And I'm like, I was like, hell yeah, sure, I'll do it. He's like, have you pitched before? I was like, sure. So I go out there and I'm warming up in the outfield with the catcher for the game. And, he's getting down, he's calling for pitches. He's like, what do you know how to throw? And I'm like, thinking, and I'm like, I'm a big fan, so I know how to throw stuff, but I've never pitched before in a game. So I'm like, well, I theoretically I know how to throw like a curveball and a changeup, but I actually probably don't. And he's like, all right, we'll just go with the fastball. And so we were warming up, and this catcher realized, like, as we were warming up, he's like, this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. I think I pitched like 1 inning, like 1 1/3, and I gave up like 3 runs. But I did get a strikeout on a changeup. That was my only off-speed pitch that I threw. Yeah. And then the whole season went on, and then at the end of the season, like I had been practicing. They never let me pitch again. But it was like the last game of the season, and I had been practicing pitching, and I was like, I'm gonna redeem myself. So I texted the coach before the game, and I was like, let me pitch this game. Let me prove to you that I'm a good pitcher. And he's like, yeah, it's the last game of the season, whatever. I go out there, first batter, hit him in the helmet. He goes down to first base. Second batter, I throw behind him. And the way that, like, I'll illustrate this. So, like, the way that, like, you have a guy up here, he's holding the bat like this, right? The pitch went behind him and hit his bat. But the umpire, who's standing right here, thought that it hit him in the helmet as well. So the guy, he just told him to go to first base. So the kid went to first base. So then I had hit 2 people in a row. And then the third batter gets a single into left field. And then they take me out of the game. That was the last time I ever pitched in a baseball game. And then later that game, I stole second base. And I slid into second base. I was safe. And I looked up, and the second baseman is the guy that I hit in the helmet. And I was like I was kind of like awkward. I was kind of like, sorry that I hit you in the helmet, dude. I'm not very good at pitching. And he's like, nah, it's cool, man. Don't worry about it. It's a good helmet. I was like, all right.
That's the time that Scott was on the path to the major leagues.
Yeah, it turns out not really. That was not in my future.
For real?
Yo, Matt, thank you for the sub at tier 2.
It's Matt.
Feline said, if you were able to and had the time, resources, etc., to create a big and ambitious project starring Lucio, what would it be? Well, our gut reaction answers, I feel like, is always like we'd rather do something new if we were given big, like, and ambitious, like extra resources and stuff. But to stick true to the question with Lucio, I have no idea, to be honest. Probably, if I'm being honest, probably something to further the brand with Lucia. Like something lewd or something like that. If it had to be a Lucia project, I feel like, right? Like, that'd probably be my gut reaction.
Maybe. I don't know. If we had to do something with Lucia. See, it's weird because we really, like... I know that she's the mascot, the big character, but, like, we don't really, like... sit around and be like, oh yeah, we want to do, like, if we wanted to do stuff with Lucia, we'd be doing stuff with Lucia, because, like, more people would probably immediately be interested in that than other stuff. That's just not something that we're really super interested in doing. If we had to do one, it would probably be another book. The
That's
Panty
fair.
Bear 2.
Yeah, but we tried that already.
That's true. That was a long time ago. We're better now.
Yeah, I don't know what we would do, to be honest. I think the biggest thing is that, like, for me, it's hard for me to think of something because I don't really feel very inspired to do more with Lucia than what we already do with her. I'm not saying that one day we won't. We very well could, but I don't know. We're in this realm of wanting to do new things and bring new things to the table. That's
multifaceted.
Well, that's kind of how you and I are. You and I kind of aren't people that like getting us to write a sequel to anything. I think would be very difficult. Or to continue.
Except for Kindred Heavens 2.
Well, but that was written to be one thing originally, and then it was like, you know, we decided to make it a series. I'm saying is in like we have finished something that is our goal, and then it's like to go back to it, like to go back now and write a Pandy Bear 2, or to go back and write something like that. I feel like that'd be really hard for us because I typically when Scott and I want to move on from something, we want to move on.
Conversation we had when we finished the webcomic for the Pandy Bear, it was like, okay, we have to make a decision. Like, do we want to keep doing this, or do we want to like go and do something else? And we decided that we would rather do something else. But that was a conversation that we had. You know, it was like, clearly people are interested in it. Like, you know, should we sort of ride the wave and do this thing? And then we were both just kind of like, we don't really want to.
Well, our biggest thing is we never want to just do something because we think that it will be successful, like monetarily, or will like a lot of people will like. We only want to do things if we think it will be good. So like doing Pandy Bear 2, we had this long talk about like we wrote the Pandy Bear, like it was a webcomic and stuff like that, but we wrote it to be one book and then it didn't get published, and so we made it a webcomic and we just adapted it. When we finished that one book, we had a big conversation about like, well, do we like, is there more to do? And we realized the only reason we were thinking about doing more with it is just because of like the popularity of it and the popularity of the character, not because we actually felt we could in that moment write another good story that was like a continuation of it. And we kind of had a long talk. I think it was actually a really important talk because I think it shaped a lot of our thoughts about how we're going to approach things with her and how we have approached things with our career, of like not wanting to just write a sequel or do something or continue something because the opportunity is there, but rather letting things end when they're supposed to end and just worrying about making the best stories and books possible, and not sacrificing that for anything. So maybe one day there will be like a continuation of the Pandy Bear or something. If we ever did anything with Lucia though that wasn't like, it would either be probably something lewd, just like to further the brand of her, or Pandy Bear 2. Like, I don't think we would ever write another normal just like book with Lucia that wasn't the Pandy Bear, because to Scott and I, the actual character of Lucia is the Pandy Bear. The Twitter thing, the Twitter Lucia is a separate entity entirely, and I don't think we as of right now have much interest doing anything with that like character that isn't on the brand she's already on. Feline said not a video game? Who knows? I don't know. I'll have to wait and see what.
It's always just a time thing. And it's one of those things that like, you know, we have, I mean, that's something that like obviously we've had conversations about. Something that we've thought about doing, but as much as we would like to do it, the drive has never been great enough to replace other things that we're currently doing, right? So like it's like just like, okay, well, if it's that or the other stuff that we're doing that we want to do, like we're gonna pick the other stuff because that's what we're already doing. That's what we want to do, like Kindred Heavens and such.
Yo, rating with the party of 358.
358.
You've rated us before. Hello, welcome back. It's been a long
everybody.
Time. How are you? If I remember correctly, you're really talented, and because you rated us once before, and we were very surprised that you rated us. So thank you, very much appreciated. The spiel is that we're Bryce and Scott, and we have a girl that we made a webcomic of that nobody read the webcomic. And so we started drawing her naked, and now people love her. and now we make our living off the fact that she's naked all the time.
This is she.
So that's us.
That's us. That's our spiel.
If you would like to read her book now, you can buy it at
BrysonScott.store.
BrysonScott.store. But thank you. Welcome in, everybody, and thank you for the raid. Hope everyone's having a good Friday. We're having a good Friday.
That's awesome.
We're
That's
just hanging
crazy,
out.
dude.
We're just vibing.
Yeah. Jesus fuck. 300 and... Wow. Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much. I hope your stream was good.
We really got to make a trailer for that.
No,
for when
I think
people
I
rate
do a
us.
good job. I think.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's pretty on brand for us for it to be scuffed. Don't you think like a whole trailer would be like very off brand for you and I? Does that
Yes,
seem?
you and I doing a trailer for something would be very strange indeed.
Can we? When are we gonna show the Kindred Heavens trailer? I've thought about that. Like, can we show that on stream at some point?
I think that we should debut it on stream. I don't know exactly when.
I'm not saying
But
like
I
right
feel
now.
like-
I'm just saying I feel like at some point we have to debut the trailer. For those that just came in from the raid, we're going to be releasing a book here soon called Kindred Heavens, our next comic book. So nothing to do with
Yeah, I
boobies
feel
in
like it should be debuted on. Yeah, I know it's a big 180. It should be debuted on stream. I think. I just don't know, when.
Because I honestly just forgot. I just remembered that we haven't debuted the trailer. Because we have a full voice acted music made for it. Like, it's a full trailer.
Yeah.
Raid
And
from
it's
Italy.
fucking
Thank you
awesome.
very much. I hope, again,
Nice.
I hope.
Salute. Is that offensive?
I don't know. I thought you were going to do the Grazie thing from Inglourious Bastards.
Grazie.
Yeah, thank you for the raid.
That's. I think that's the biggest raid we've ever gotten.
It is. I
Isn't it?
actually think the second biggest raid we've ever had was also from.
Yeah, I think you're
Gato.
right.
If I'm butchering your name, I'm very sorry.
I haven't looked at it, but how are you butchering Gato?
I don't know. I just feel like every time I say someone's name, I'm really worried I'm gonna say it wrong.
That's a fair. Buongiorno.
We've been playing Zelda for the past 12 hours. That's what I'm doing right after stream, is going and playing Zelda because I've not gotten.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say right now.
So I'm sure you all did have a good stream.
You know, it took me about halfway through the stream so far to be like, man, our view count's a little low today. And then I like, it clicked with me. I was like, everybody's playing Zelda. like we're not playing Zelda, so of course our view count's low.
Did you see even Sony tweeted about it? Zelda's a goddamn event.
Now, which eyes do you think are better? These or
I don't know. Those
these?
eyes are real good.
Those are really funny to me. Like, yeah, these are cool too, but these are really fucking funny. You joined the Discord. Also, 12 hours? Like a 12-hour stream?
What can I say?
Jesus Christ.
They're the GOAT. We can't stream for 12 hours.
No. I guess
I-
the 2 hours, and me and Bryce are just like...
I respect anyone that can stream doing anything for like over 3 hours, because the longest stream we've ever done was like 3.5 hours. It's long. It's hard to be on and to be like interesting for a long time. So I mad respect to anybody that can stream for that long. I don't remember what we were talking about before we got raided. I think we were talking about doing a game. We were talking about that. We were answering that question. Yeah, the question that we were asked was if we had all the time and resources, would we do anything? Like, if we're sticking true with that, like, yeah, we've talked a lot about wanting to do a game, and we have made various moves on it at various different times. And it is something that we want to happen one day, but we just have to wait and see.
It's just one of those things, though. Like I said, it's like it's something we've wanted to do, but like there are just so many things that I think we'd rather do more. That even if we had like a lot more time, we probably would still just wind up doing something else. You know what I mean?
It's also, games aren't a project we can work on just him and I. Like, it's a thing we need other people on. which is the only way we could ever make it work. So we need to find people that that mesh with our vision and such. Thank you, Orbitten, for the 100 bits.
Thank you, Orbitten.
As a follow-up to the last question, if someone wanted to include Lucia in a project, big or small, what would be your limits if you did give permission? There's a second part to that, but I'll answer that first part. Our limits, we've always said this, and this is like every single time we've been asked, because we've actually been asked a lot to include stuff in a game. It has been that you need to show it to us first. You need to have, like, if you want, like, say, like, because we've heard this one, I mean, like, legitimately 10 or 20 times, like, hey, I'm making a fighting game, can I put Lucy on the roster? Hey, I'm making this, can I put... It's like, bring us a something we can look at and play and see, and then we will talk. Because we're not just gonna say yes to every random person that, like, is wanting to make a game. So it just depends on just bring something final. Also, I will say, just to elaborate on that further, I feel like for stuff like putting Lucy in a game or anything, Scott and I would be much more hesitant to do something like that if it wasn't something we were involved in, or from someone we knew and trusted very well. And the answer would almost never be as simple as just like, yeah, user. That's my personal take, Scott. I don't know if you have a different take.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's something we've been asked a lot. We've talked about and like it may, like, obviously it's cool like when people want to use her for stuff, but it's like we can't just, especially when people ask, like, we'll be on stream, people will be like, hey, can I use Lucy on my game? And it's like, we can't just give you permission to use our character in, like, you know, in passing on a random Twitch stream. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that simple.
But the second part of that question was, how do you feel about crossover fan art? Fan art's fine. Do all the fan art you want. We love fan art. I mean, that's totally fine. I have never, and NSFW or Safe for Work, or my personal thing, I mean, I've never thought it's mad. I think people should, if they want to draw Lucia and do whatever with her, that's fine. That's really cool. I mean, we went for a long time never getting fan art, so the fact that anyone wants to do fan art is still really humbling and cool.
Guys, do you?
Yes, it was an event 12-hour stream for Zelda's Day 1, normally 2 to 3 hours. That makes more sense, but still, I mean, I don't know, even for an event, if you and I could do a 12-hour stream.
A thing for a while where we were using like point rewards or bit rewards or something, and it was like extend the stream for an hour.
It was a dono. It was for $50.
Oh yeah, it's dono. Yeah. And then it was like, yeah, you can make a stream for an hour longer, and then like the first time we used that, somebody paid to do it, and so we ended up streaming for like 3.5 hours. And we were like, no, that sucks. Like, we don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah,
that was so lot.
Well, because the reason it happened is because we were about to end stream and then someone did it. Remember? And we were like, oh, well. But we don't even have donations at all right now.
But if you want to support us, BrysonScott.store, buy the Panty Bear.
The Patreon by breasts.
Or patreon.com/BrysonScott. Boobs? Do you like boobs?
You know, if you go on our Patreon right now, there's over 200 lewds you can look at for one $5 a month price tag.
Deal.
For $10, you also get all those boobs and animated boobs, like 30 of them, I think. 20 of them. A whole lot.
And you get a nice, warm, cozy feeling of supporting two starving artists.
Yeah, us, starving artists.
We used to never plug anything, and then we came back from our streaming break, and
well, now we have shit to plug. It's kind of boring just plugging the Patreon over and over. You know what I mean? Like, cause you already like now. Like, I want to plug the Panty Bear. I want people to buy the Panty Bear. I'm gonna want to plug Kindred Heavens. I'm so excited for Kindred Heavens.
Same.
If Kindred Heavens sells nothing, that just might be the end of my career. I might just retire if we only sell like 10 books.
Everything we've done over the last several years has been building to us releasing Kindred Heavens.
Yeah, it's gonna be a very nervous, but exciting day. It's gonna be one of those days where Scott and I just sit there and just like stare at the Kickstarter counter all day.
F5, F5, F5.
Have you guys ever went to any conventions as a guest or having a table? I've been to FlameCon as a guest. Well, okay, no, I went to FlameCon and I tabled, but it wasn't for my table. It was for a comic company's table that I was working with at the time. But Bryce and Scott, the brand, have never tabled at any conventions.
No, I tabled with that same company once. I have been to a couple as a guest, just like an attendee. They're pretty fun. We want to do more. We actually could be doing one in August. I had one scheduled, or we had one scheduled. Sorry, I forgot you existed for a second.
No, Jesus.
We had one scheduled earlier this year, but then we pulled out of it at the last.
Well, the reason we had to pull out of it is because the Panty Bear launch and the Kindred Heavens launch got delayed a lot more than we thought they were going to, because of like various things. Originally, our plan was to launch the Panty Bear at the end of last year, so like December, and then to launch Kindred Heavens early, like in like February. But because of various things, we pushed both those plans way back, and so the con we were going to go to was in March. And so we realized that like if we would have gone, we wouldn't have had anything to sell. Did we ever even get a refund or no? Were we just out the money for that?
No, we were just out the money for that.
That's crazy. It's okay. We'll write it off.
We did actually.
Did we? Oh, because we bought the table last year, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot we bought it last year.
Bryce is forgetting when we buy stuff.
This is why you don't let me handle the tax stuff.
True.
But yeah, we want to do more conventions. That was actually a big part of the reason that I moved closer, was so we could start doing conventions. But it's just been a matter of waiting for us to have books. But with us having Kindred Heavens and the Panty Bear, and then we're gonna have Kindred Heavens merch, and we'll probably make some Panty Bear merch here soon. It's gonna be really easy to table, and then come next year we'll have Kindred Heavens 2 and another book. So yeah, our plan, I don't know how many we'll go to this year, but I would say next year would definitely be a year where we probably start running a lot of conventions.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
Yeah, it's something we've wanted to do for a very long time. It's just always been logistics. But yeah, most of the conventions we go to though would probably be, I mean, we're in Kentucky, so they'd probably be like Kentucky, Ohio, Tennessee, like stuff in the immediate area. I don't even know.
Coast in general, at least.
Yeah, East Coast conventions. And then just see, I mean, really, we've not done conventions, and so we've not really even thought about like budgeting or about like stuff like that. We've not actually thought about like the logistics of it. So that would, once we actually sit down and do that, that's what will really determine what conventions we can go to. Because it would be cool to do local conventions and like once a year go somewhere really random and do like a big convention, like go to like New York or go to like the West Coast or something. But it all just depends.
It all just depends, like adult diaper for men's. Because it's depends, like.
Yeah, no, I get it.
You get it.
Whoa, no way. I'm by Paducah. I don't know enough about Kentucky still, Scott. Is that in Kentucky?
Yes, it is
okay.
in Kentucky.
I'm still new here. I've only been here for like 3 months. I called it Louisville the other day and got yelled at by 2 different people.
You also called it Pikeville.
Yeah. And so what do you say? Pikeville?
Pikeville.
Pikeville.
You know, in the Wild West, they'd shoot you for that.
What do you call Louisville? Louisville? Louisville.
Louisville.
See, I still can't do it.
You ain't gonna. Oh Jesus, everything's upside down. You're gonna get killed here, dude.
Well, I also have pink hair.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
But yeah, I really want to do conventions. Like I really I don't know. I think the idea of tabling and getting to sell books in person and talk to people in person is really cool. But also the idea of getting to meet fans in person, it's also really cool.
I had an interaction at the table at the con I tabled at, where that was super cool to me, where it was like several days. It was in Emerald City, and it was like on the first day, I sold a book to somebody, and they had never heard of me or the book or anything. This was many years ago. And I the second day they came back and they had read the book like after they bought it. And they were like just talking to me about stuff from the book and how much they liked it and everything. And that was a really, really cool experience to me.
When I tabled a convention, we sold one copy of our book, and I went to pee when we sold it, so I missed it. It's a weird experience. Not gonna lie, I'd smoke them out for art. Is the Bryce Twitter dead? Yeah, I never use it.
Shadow banned on Twitter.
Yeah. Yeah, Twitter just knew I was gonna be too strong, so they're just trying to keep me down.
Twitter's trying to keep me down, dude.
I think me tweeting would be bad for the brand. Not because I tweet anything controversial, but because I'm so fucking stupid, I'd probably tweet something that would be like misconstrued as stupid, like as bad.
People don't understand is that Bryce is an idiot. But he's like the lovable idiot, you know?
Have you thought about creating a Lucia AI chatbot? I've seen people do it with OCs.
No, because I don't know how to make those, but I have had it pointed out to me that they do. There is one that exists of Lucia on that one website, the character AI or whatever, the one everybody uses. So I do know that it exists out there.
Also, by the way, does the Redbubble store you guys have still ship stuff, the one with the stickers and stuff? Yeah, we made that store a while back, just like, because I don't know, we were like, yeah, let's do it. And then we like put like 3 things on it and never did anything else with it.
Redbubble ships all of that, so it's still, I mean,
it's there. Yeah, we don't have to do anything.
We just don't add anything new to it. But
we really
it does,
should
like, if you
just like dump a bunch of stuff on there one day though.
Yeah.
Because we could do it really
True.
easily and then just promote it once or twice. But the problem with it is we want to do a lot of our own merch. And Scott and I are really anal about quality control and about like having products in our hand before we sell them to people and stuff.
Hey, speaking of products in your hand, look, I have a phone case picture of Lucia. This is on Redbubble. You can buy this. You can buy this on Redbubble. Go get it.
The real secret is finding the Redbubble link.
You are about to embark on a great quest, young warrior.
I think we just have like 2 stickers and then like the phone case. I think that's it. Like we
That's
really
pretty
didn't
much,
put
yeah.
anything on there. So one day we will actually probably update that.
We'll just start doing our own merch on our own website.
Yeah, that's probably more likely. We've talked about doing like a lot of merch. We have a lot of merch ideas of like doing limited drops of merch. But it's all just about when we have time to do it. The problem is things take time.
Turns out the most valuable thing is time.
If everything could
It's
just happen
knowledge.
quickly, we'd make a lot more money than we already have. But unfortunately, the world moves slow. Kindred Heavens is drawing close, though.
Scrub found the link. Congratulations, Scrub. As a reward, you can now buy a Lucia phone case.
You know, I finally caved, Scott, and I played Guilty Gear for the first time.
That true?
About a week ago. Yeah, me and Shroom played it. And he taught me how to play. And then he just said, now I'm gonna really teach you how to play. And he just relentlessly kicked my ass for like 2 hours. With this guy named Faust. And he just kicked my ass. I just
well,
played.
did you learn how to play?
I beat him once or twice. I beat him once or twice playing as the dude with the electricity. He has blonde hair, I think. Shroom told me he's the easiest character in the game to play. So I played him. He was pretty fun to play because I played a bunch. I basically tried every single character once, I think. But he was the one that felt really fun because first he had me try playing a girl that had like 2 floating guns, and I was really, really awful with her. Like, I mean, like I was really bad. But yeah, I mean, it's fun.
Really?
I'm still just not good at 2D fighting games. Still just don't like them that much. But I appreciate it's a very well-made game. I do want to play it more. But I don't know if I'd ever play it enough to like get good at it, and so I have a hard time being interested because of that. I guess that's my competitiveness coming in. Scrub said, "Did you have fun?" I did have fun. He wasn't like kicking my ass and being a jerk about it. He was like beating me and teaching me how to play at the same time. Like, I don't really know how to describe it other than that. It was like he like I was learning through getting my ass kicked.
What about chess? When do we play chess on stream?
Maybe one day. Maybe one day we do the chess stream. Are you guys gonna do a Kindred Heavens release stream with sales in the corner? That's not a bad idea.
Not a bad idea. That just seems like something that we maybe should do.
We'll probably, we will almost certainly stream the entire time it like launches and stuff, right? Like, we'll probably be streaming then and do like a big launch stream, and stuff like that. Whether we'd have a counter in the corner or not, I mean, that would make a lot of sense. But you really underestimate how forgetful we are.
Well, here's what's probably going to happen is that we're going to have basically, I think as soon as we get a launch date nailed down, we're going to do a pre-launch page. And what the pre-launch page is going to be is basically just you sign up for it and you will get an email when it'll be on Kickstarter, and Kickstarter will email you when it goes live. So you don't forget, because what is really important on Kickstarter is like first 8 hours sales. Because if you get enough sales in the first 8 hours, they give you the Project We Love badge, which can boost your stuff quite a bit. So you want to get a lot of like pre-sale signups. So that'll probably be up for at least a couple of weeks, and then we'll actually go live, and you can buy it on Kickstarter. And the Kickstarter itself will probably go like a month or something. But yeah, we'll have that pre-launch page up a little bit, because the first 8 hour sales are super, super important. So when we go, we'll probably be streaming just because we want people to buy it as soon as it goes live. Like, that's super important for the algorithm.
It's getting to the point now where we're probably gonna have to like launch that page within like a week.
Yeah, I know. It needs to be soon.
Um. So it's very close.
And for the people that were around when we first started streaming again, you saw a lot of the book. You showed off a lot of pages. So you've seen some of what it's about. I'm just really excited to show the trailer for the first time.
So am I. The voice actress that we had voice the trailer did an incredible job. Yeah,
The first time any of our characters have ever been voiced, and it's
true.
not Lucia.
Ever been voiced by like you and me doing something. I don't remember if somebody ever did anything that we didn't have any involvement.
Well, it's not you and me voicing it, but I know what you mean. It'd be really funny if you and me were voicing Isabel. Here we are again.
We can say who did the music for the trailer, right? Like he doesn't care.
Yeah.
Echo did the music for the trailer.
That's true.
Yeah, Echo. We were actually, so we wanted a trailer for the Kickstarter that was like a that was an actual trailer. Like a lot of Kickstarter, and there's nothing wrong with this, but a lot of Kickstarters are people talking about their books. They're just being like hey, this is our book, this is what I made, and that's really cool. But Scott and I, we wanted like a cinematic-esque trailer. And we were initially like pitching around the idea of doing like a really dramatic trailer, like one of those like 2-minute like Isabel Voigt and blah 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 and this summer and like total like blockbuster movie trailer, which wouldn't have really fit the book at all. But we just didn't
in a world.
Yeah, that's basically what it was. And we were asking Echo for advice on music because Echo knows a lot more about music than we do. And we sent him like the stuff we were thinking, and he was like, well, that's not the vibe I pictured at all for the trailer. You should do something like this. And he just like on the spot made the music for the trailer and was like, I think you should use music like this. And then we rewrote and made a whole new trailer just based off the music he sent us. And Scott did all new artwork. The trailer is not artwork from the book. That's all new. Basically, Scott drew like 5 extra pages just for the trailer.
It's true.
And I wrote like a whole extra 5 pages just for the trailer.
And I learned how to use Adobe Premiere, I think.
Yeah, and then we had to edit it. We got voice acting. We used Echo's music. I was really happy with how it turned out. Scrubs says Echo makes music. He does. Not like professionally or anything, but he does it for fun, and he's very talented with it. Echo is also very passionate about music. He knows a lot about music. If he's one of those people who like when it comes to just like things about music, like mixing or stuff like that, I trust his opinion a lot. Echo taught me how to use FL Studio, actually. He sat me down for like 2 hours and just showed me like a bunch of shit about it. I'm so excited. I will shill all of my green bucks for this book. That's very cool. Very much.
You can buy 4 copies.
That is true. One of the tiers will be a 4-copy tier.
If you just want a shelf filled with
Kindred Heavens Book 1.
Kindred Heavens Book 1. There will be a variant cover as well. So you could buy multiple copies to get the variant cover.
Have we shown the variant cover? We've shown the actual cover on stream, haven't we?
Yeah, we've shown the actual cover. I don't think we've shown the variant cover.
Do we not want to show the variant cover?
No, not yet, because we want it to be like a stretch goal.
Oh, I forgot. Good point.
Yeah, this what I'm doing now is the Leia costume. It's technically a redraw of this what I did. This was done in August of 2021, so it is old as shit, pretty much.
That pose in the middle with Lucia looking back, I remember you saying was like the favorite pose you'd ever drawn.
Yeah, it's not even the best. Now that I'm looking back on it, it's not even the best pose on this sheet. But
what do you think is the best pose on the sheet?
This one. Yeah, I needed to get the colors
you need
from
to
that
cheat.
one. I need to cheat and just use. I need to color drop my own shit. Because I used to be better I used to be a better artist, but I fell off. It's really a sad story. I was playing a game with shrooms, and he said, "D's nuts," and I just ever since then I just can't.
Ever since then, things haven't been the same. Why'd you call them
It's
shrooms?
just
Why'd you put an S on the end? Why'd you make it
well,
plural?
I mean, it's shroomies.
I can't believe this. You know, he used to watch our streams, and now he never comes. Today, it's like he's playing Tears of the Kingdom or something. I just don't know where he
Believable.
could be.
Everyone that's playing Tears of the Kingdom instead of watching us, you're not my friend anymore.
It makes sense. I get it. I understand.
Yeah, no, it's fair. I don't blame you.
You don't even.
If
play
I
video
liked
games.
video games,
You're only a bad artist if you believe you are.
well, do I have news for you? No, I'm kidding. I'm the GOAT.
I would make a joke and then say I'm kidding, but I don't know. About once a week, I have like a mental breakdown about my career. So where I'm just like I think I'm really bad at my job, and Scott has to convince me I'm not. Although that hasn't happened in a while. I've been riding pretty high lately.
Ever since you finished the store.
I have been in a really good mood ever since I finished the store.
Have the capacity to color this all by the end of stream. Maybe, says the fox.
Scott, since we're looking at Star Wars right now, what's your favorite Star Wars movie?
Episode 3.
Really?
Is it the best? No. Is it my favorite? Honestly, probably. Just because as a kid, I watched that movie
That's fair.
dozens of times. I played the video game hundreds of times. So like, is it the best? Definitely not. Is it my favorite? I feel like it would be disingenuous if I said no.
That is the weird thing. We grew up like we grew up with the prequels, so I feel like I like the prequels a lot more than like the older generation does, because like those were my childhood Star Wars movies.
Yeah, like as a kid, I didn't give a shit about like how the dialogue was written or, you know. I mean, I will say I did think Jar Jar was annoying even as a kid, but you know, other than that, Episode 3 was like the shit. There's like the lightsaber fight at the end of Episode 3 is like
I used to
the
rewatch
hardest
that
shit.
over and over as a kid because I thought it was so fucking cool.
And like I said, that video game, I want to re-download. I think I re-downloaded and played the whole game like not even that long ago, and now I want to do it again. I gotta download a PlayStation 2 emulator.
This is the part where he comes to me and acts like I know things about things.
Hey, when we get off stream, will you send me a guide on how to?
Yeah, I got you.
Thanks.
Not that I would know anything about something like that.
I just want to know. It's like ChatGPT. Like, please send me a list of how to emulate PlayStation 2 games so that I can avoid emulating PlayStation 2 games.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
Mine's probably. I mean, Episode 5. I feel like is the generic answer, but I think that's because it's the best. But
yeah, that's the best. But my favorite, Episode 3, baby.
Yeah, I probably agree with you in that terms of enjoyment. Episode 3 is very, very nostalgic for me. And then Episode 5 is just definitely the best. All the new ones suck.
Yeah, they're pretty awful.
Except Rogue One. I liked Rogue One quite a bit.
Yeah, but that's like not even one of the main ones.
Yeah.
Cheating is what I'm getting at. I made a line in here, and I just for the life of me can't figure out what that's supposed to be. I gotta go back. Okay, hold on. So, what's that supposed to be? I have no idea. It'll just also be red. Cool.
Is Rey calling herself Skywalker dumb?
Are you talking about the last
stupid.
scene? The last scene of the movie, and it's like, who are you? She's like, I'm Rey Skywalker, and like that's the end of the movie. I that may be the hardest I've ever cringed in a movie theater in my life. Well, that and when she kissed Kylo Ren to like bring him back to life. Like, oh god, that last movie, dude.
That last movie was
bad.
Fucking awful. It was bad. The whole thing was bad.
The
first movie, like it was fun at the time, even though it was just the Last Hope. A New Hope. What is the fourth movie called? Help me.
Well, it's not. The fourth movie's A New Hope.
A New Hope. I said the Last Hope. Yeah. Even though it's just A New Hope. It's still like it was fun, especially at the time because it was like a big event. The one after that, the eighth one, like that one kind of sucked, but it was still like at least kind of interesting and had interesting moments. I just remember it being really long in like a really bad way. There's like the 30 minutes where they fuck around in that like casino planet or whatever.
Oh,
dude, dreadful. And then the ninth movie is just awful. I mean, like it's just bad from start to finish.
There was this weird thing.
Let me finish my thought real quick so I don't lose it. It moves at a breakneck pace that I've never encountered a movie that does this for the first hour, where it just scene. Sorry, I just had to say that.
Well, like the first movie came out and it was just like a rehash of A New Hope, episode 7. So it was like, okay, maybe the second one will be okay because like, you know, they got their fan service like reboot out of the way. Maybe it'll be good. And then the second one had a different director, right? So like the whole thing was completely different and redone. And like it like retconned everything that was in that first movie, episode 7. So I was like, okay, that sucks, but maybe now for the final episode, they'll like have brought it around or something and like everything will make sense. And it was just a really bad movie. I mean, I was so disappointed. I really wanted to like it. That's like one of the last times that I was like really like, man, I just want to like this even though it's so bad, but I couldn't.
Opinion on Rogue One? I really liked Rogue One. I've only seen it once, but when I watched it in the middle of all that Star Wars hype, I really liked it. I remember really enjoying it.
Yeah, Rogue One was great.
I've always liked the
Rogue One was probably the best movie of the Star Wars franchise.
I've always liked the side stories of Star Wars. I've always wished they would do more with that, like movie wise, not just like books and other mediums wise. I know it's
they did Solo and nobody.
That's
watched
what I was gonna say.
So
like I know Rogue One and Solo are both still like they involve either situations, related to like the Skywalkers or characters from that era. But I don't know. It's still really cool. I wish they would do more like that. Imagine fucking up a Han Solo movie.
Fucking up Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars, which is the one property that can get away with just being like, hey, it's space. And they have lasers and shit. That's the whole shit. That's what Star Wars is.
They somehow fucked up Star Wars so bad that they didn't even have like lightsaber fights in the fucking like first several movies. Like that, like there was like what was there even a lightsaber fight in this episode 7? There's like the one at the end, and it was like not that interesting as like
all
Kylo
the lightsaber
and
stuff in those in the newest 3 ones sucked. It was all so lame. All like the choreography wasn't that great. I don't know. That was the thing. People can shit on the prequels all they want, but especially for the Anakin Obi-Wan fight, Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen went hard. Like there's
Bro,
so
all
much
of them,
work.
really.
Yeah, like all the lightsaber fights are so fucking good in the prequel.
That Darth Maul, Qui-Gon and Obi fight.
With fucking Obi-Wan stuck behind the goddamn barriers waiting.
Good shit, pal.
That
Good
scene
shit,
is what
pal.
like, that scene alone is worth episode 1. That's worth hearing. It's so wizard, Annie.
That's so wizard, Annie. Like, I'm not gonna pretend that the dialogue is good in those movies. Okay, they're not. But
Well, the problem with the prequels is that it really exemplifies what is George Lucas's biggest problem of him being able to come up with really cool ideas and even really cool stories, but him just having no idea how to write. Like him just like not knowing how to pull them into an actual story or how to write dialogue or how to write scenes. Yeah. It just the prequels really exemplify that. Which really sucks. A lot of the ideas in the prequels are really cool.
hate sand. It's coarse, rough, gets everywhere. They were animals, so I slaughtered them like they were animals.
I mean, Lucas's dialogue is so bad, it makes everyone in that movie look like a horrible actor. There was a time in your and I's life, Scott, I don't know if you remember this, where we could quote the entire interaction between Obi-Wan and Anakin.
Oh, yeah.
Where you and I could sit there and be like, you brought him here to kill me. And we could do the whole thing, and we would just, like, whip it out. Like, it was our party trick, and no one could stop us when we started doing it. Like, we'd have to run through the whole thing. It was a good time. There was the time when I was a kid, man, like, watching the Star Wars movies, playing Star Wars Battlefront 2, playing the Episode 3 game, playing the Lego Star Wars games. I don't know, man. That's like, I wish I could love Star Wars as much as I did as a kid. Because goddamn, when I was a kid, I was all in on it. Speaking of Star Wars, you know, in Fortnite they have lightsabers now.
That's true, and they're broken as shit.
Yeah, they are pretty broken. Especially for you when they just don't work for you.
Hey, they work now. It's fine.
As a kid, I had a DS copy of the Lego Star Wars. I hid a DS copy of Lego Star Wars under a soda machine at Walmart. Maybe a year later, I asked if I could get a game, went back, and still found it there. Why'd you hide it?
Yeah, what was the scam?
Yeah, we got to talk about scam rap on stream. Does anyone ever listen to the genre scam rap?
With I don't remember the guy's name.
TJX6, I think.
Something like that.
The GOAT out there scamming Walmarts to this day.
Not Walmart.
Yeah, those the fucking Lego Star Wars games banged.
The fact that they weren't online multiplayer is like the biggest travesty.
Well, no Lego game has ever been, even to this day. It's still not online multiplayer. As far as I know.
It's a travesty.
Yeah, it's crazy. I've had an urge recently to replay through the. I think I'm gonna convince Amy to play through like the original, because I still have my original copy of both the original Star Wars trilogy Lego and the prequel Lego. with my original saves from when I was a youngling.
Not the original saves from when you were.
That is one of the coolest things about keeping a lot of game stuff from my childhood. Is I still have all my old saves from when I was a kid. So I have a save for Star Wars Battlefront 2 on my memory card that's called J and B, and it's a galactic conquest that me and my dad started in 2007 on Star Wars Battlefront 2. That's pretty cool. I don't know. I have a bunch of random shit like that. I have like my first ever Persona 4 save. I have like the first time I ever played Final Fantasy X. And like that was in like 2006, 2007. Basically, I'm a fucking nerd.
You're just such a fucking geek. Like, I just want to give you a swirly. Like,
you hear how he treats me? You hear how he talks to me? He's even worse off stream. I like those eyes. I hope you keep those eyes in the actual post sheet.
yeah, they're gonna be kept.
Who's your favorite Star Wars character?
I don't know, but I want to. Hold on, give you a second. This is what I was talking about earlier. So like, this is the post sheet, with all black lines. Like, you can see the lines kind of like, especially with the skin, they kind of like just muddy everything up a little bit. But when you color them, it just really softens up the whole drawing. Especially if you go like extreme with the colors, like I was playing with here, like this. It really softens everything up, but I don't need to go that extreme with it.
Wow. You went too extreme?
I went too extreme.
Just do that?
So that, anyways, my favorite Star Wars character, Jar Jar Binks. No, I don't know. Anakin?
That's pretty fair.
Is that a valid answer?
Mine's R2D2, so I think your answer's probably more valid.
R2D2 is pretty good. He's a murderous little fuck.
He's the fucking goat, dude. What do you mean? I love him. He's just killing. He's just making noises. He's just sticking his dick in things. That's like half the prequel. It's just R2D2 just shoving his rod into things.
If only we could all live such a life.
Yeah, he's my pick for number one. Cal Kestis, is that the guy from the games? I think from the EA games that I can't remember the names of.
Fallen Order.
Fallen Order. Jedi Survivor is the second one, I think.
Jedi Survivor.
I know people really like them.
Yeah, they sure do.
Well, I also meant the character, not just the games. But I didn't play enough of the game to. I've heard from Shroom and Echo that the Jedi Survivor game, the new one, is good when you can play it on PC. Shroom told me that he just every time a cutscene starts, his game just crashes. Giving back the old days.
You and I played quite a bit of it.
Yeah, we did. We played a lot of it. I wasn't the biggest fan of it.
No.
I think we talked about that just like a stream or two ago, though.
Oh, did we?
Yeah. Force Awakens was cool. I played Force Awakens when it came out as a kid. I heard the second one was bad. I never played it.
That's not The Force Unleashed. What's The Force Awakens?
I thought that was The Force Unleashed, honestly. That's what my brain auto-completed it to. So.
The Force Awakens. Isn't that episode 7?
Force Unleashed. Okay, he did mean The Force Unleashed.
Oh, okay,
I figured that's what you meant because we were talking about games. Yeah. I remember thinking it was lit when I was younger. They recently re-released it. I wonder if it's still good.
I don't know. I remember thinking it was badass. Now, was it actually? I don't know.
I think the first one is regarded pretty decently. I think the second one people don't like very much. But I don't know. Like I don't have a personal opinion. I just remember thinking it was cool when I was younger. Wow, you drew the crab as Jabba twice. Wow, you only did 4 poses on this one. You did 6 on the other one.
Yeah, well, I used to do them in the 16:9 format, and it was a lot. I had to draw a lot of poses.
Did you change that because Twitter changing stuff?
Yes, I did, because they changed the crop, and I didn't have to do these giant pose sheets anymore. So now it's less poses. I'm cheating. I'm taking away your poses, guys. Sorry.
Wow. Cheating's kind of cringe.
You're kind of cringe. Fuck you.
Well, true. Well, yeah, but do what you just did traditionally. Come back when you can do that with a pen and paper.
Called an eraser.
One time we were all playing board games, and it was like really late at night, and Scott was really tired, and we had like one game that had gone on super long. And so he was like real tired and wanted to go to bed, but we had to wait for the game to finish. And he just wrote his dog's name, Thor, like 100 times on a notepad. And like none of us knew about it until the next day. And so it was like he was just like in this like fugue state of tiredness. And there's just this one page that just says Thor, 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 Thor. It looks like something you'd see in like Silent Hill. Like it's really honestly jarring. It's really creepy.
What can I say?
Your dog really doesn't like when we like hurt each other.
No, he's a baby.
We always like we're like throwing shit at each other or like smacking each other with things, and he gets really upset about it. Not like mad, like he gets sad. Like he just comes over and like he almost like rescue dogs us. Like he like kind of or like I can't think of the word. Like the helper dogs. He almost like he comes over like therapist dog. Like he kind of like comes over and like nudges you and like tries to calm you down and everything. Like it's really cute, but it makes you feel really bad when you like chop your friend in the chest.
I'm gonna lie, the foam roller didn't hurt as bad the second time, but my back was pretty sore that night.
The foam roller, the second time you hit me with it hurt more because you missed my back, and so you just hit my elbow with it, and so it really hurt, but not like it wasn't like the impact was any harder. It was just because you didn't hit my back.
I tried to swing harder. I even let go of it when I hit. Like I was just swinging.
Well, yeah, that's probably why you hit my fucking elbow. What the fuck?
Times. Well, I wanted to hurt you.
Yeah. Lucy is the best Star Wars character. What are you talking about? Fair.
I don't have anything left to do, but we have like 8 or 7 minutes left, so I'm gonna do pixel art, Lucia. Buckle up, kids.
Do pixel Mia.
Okay.
You already did pixel art Lucia once on stream. Jesus Christ. You and these eyes are like a problem. Like someone needs to stop you. I can already see it now. Kindred Heavens Part 2 is going to have these for like the first 20 pages in them really prominently. And then it's going to stop.
In a little bit of the book.
Yeah, near the end.
Book 1. Yeah, near the end.
You did make the changes after I sent you the proofread stuff, right? Like when I proofread the book and I sent you all the changes. Like, you did make those changes, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound very confident. I didn't send that to you in a doc, I don't think.
We just have to go back and find it.
Oh, Scott, why are you like this?
And if we can't find it, you can just proofread it again.
Oh my god, I hate you. And you've still not done the Twitter post. It's been a whole week of me reminding you.
Okay, to be fair, you don't remind me until like the end of the day.
Until right now.
Until right now on stream.
Do it right here. Open our drive right now, coward.
Yeah, nothing in there could go wrong opening it on Twitch.
Why did you draw her like unhinged? Like, what is this?
I have no idea.
like she looks like a psychopath. This is like you that night you just wrote Thora like 100 times. Make sure you at least put this in the Discord.
This will be a sticker. Eating tomorrow?
Huh?
I said, where are we eating tomorrow?
I don't care. We can eat anywhere. We want steak
Texas
or do you want
Roadhouse?
Pasta? That's really
Texas Roadhouse. Hell yeah.
No complaints about a steak. Glad we got that resolved.
Yeah, that's easy.
To be fair, when the answer is do you want steak or pasta, it's pretty easy to decide where you want to go. You just have to pick between one or the other.
Hey, here's batshit fucking crazy Mia.
I don't even know what to call this. Do you get steak or ribs? Anytime Scott and I can get steak, we get steak.
Look, look at her up there.
Why did you do this?
I don't know. But she's up there. She's watching. That was really stupid. I'm glad that I did that.
Okay.
The digital art channel is just people streaming Breath of the Wild.
Okay. Good. Just raid someone streaming Breath of the Wild.
Okay. Oh wait. No, I tried to add everybody. Oops. Yeah, you can suggest it, Scrub. No promises. That's what I'll draw, but you can suggest it. Okay. Have a good day, everybody.
Yeah, have a
Thanks
good
for
weekend.
coming. Thanks for the raid. Thanks for being awesome. Be your mythical best. Oh, that's wrong.
Oh, it's copyright. Oh no. Bye everybody.
No. Goodbye. Be nice to who we raid.